In 2023, the Elwood City Area Historical Society and the Pennsylvania Historic and Museum Commission erected a new sign in Elwood City to honor one of our local heroes, Hack Wilson, who holds one of baseball's unbeatable, unbreakable records, the most RBIs in a single season. So we're starting a memorial tabletop baseball tournament in honor of Hack Wilson here in Elwood City. This is a game based on a game my brothers and I used to play when we were kids called Championship Baseball. And we've customized it and made it our own. And we want to be able to teach it to other people and sort of spread the love for this game. So what I'm going to do is show you how the game works. It's very easy to play. And this quick tutorial video will show you everything you need to know to jump in and join the tournament. There's a limited number of seats available, so sign up now.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do as part of the tournament is we are going to draft teams. And what we'll do is we'll just pick random numbers. We'll either roll dice or we'll pick numbers out of a hat, and we'll have what's called a snake draft. So the first person, whoever picks number one will get the first draft, and you'll pick a team. And so let's just say I get first dibs, and I'm a big fan of Pennsylvania teams, and so I select the Philadelphia Phillies. They're going to be one of my teams. And each person is going to get to pick two teams. All right, so I'm going to set my Phillies over here. They're my favorite team, so I want them to be part of my squad. Then the second person in line will get their pick, the third, the fourth, and we're going to have every single team in the major leagues. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I'll show you here the San Diego Padres, Juan Soto. Juan Soto is now with the New York Yankees, if you've been following the Hot Stove League here in the offseason. But these are based on the latest baseball cards that we have. So if you want Juan Soto on your team, you're going to have to take the San Diego Padres. So, if you get there a few minutes before the tournament and you want to look through the cards to make sure that you're the guys, if you have particular players that you really want, you might want to double check and make sure that they're with the correct team. All right. So let's say this is just a selection of some of the teams that'll be available, but let's say somebody takes the Dodgers. Okay. Maybe somebody takes the Cardinals. Somebody takes the Rockies. Eventually it's going to whittle it down. It'll come back to me. Right. And so if I had the first pick, I will also get the last pick of teams. And so let's just say, again, I'm a fan of Pennsylvania teams, so I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, the reality is it doesn't really matter a whole lot which teams you draft. It's not like if you draft the Dodgers and the Yankees that you're going to automatically win, and somebody that drafts the Pirates and the Cubs or something like that is going to automatically lose. The quality of your squad in real life is not necessarily going to have a huge impact on the quality of your squad in this tournament. So it's more my suggestion would be just draft the guys you like. Okay, you're gonna play with the team that you like. And so what you'll notice is each one of these teams is going to have a couple of pitchers. Okay, so within this sleeve you'll see Mitch Keller. And here we've got Quinn Priester, two pitchers for the Pirates. And then here you got Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez for the Phillies. So each team's going to have four pitchers. And the pitchers in this game is much simpler than something like Stratomatic or one of the more complex games. The pitchers in this game don't matter a whole heck of a lot. Okay. It's really, this game's mostly about hitting. So your pitchers, whichever pitcher you choose to start that game is not going to matter a lot. But where it will matter is deciding later in the game to do pitching substitutions. And I'll explain that in a few minutes, but that does have an effect. Now, whether the guy's left-handed or right-handed doesn't have a huge effect. Okay. But like I said, I'll explain how the pitching changes do matter. All right. Then each team is going to have a couple of outfielders. So here for the Pirates, we've got Andrew McCutchen and Brian Reynolds. Okay. Each team is going to have a first baseman, a second baseman, a shortstop, a third baseman. So you got Rhys Hoskins, Bryson Stott, Trey Turner. Okay. And what you're going to then do is, this is your squad. It's kind of like the game Smash Up for anybody who's played played the card game Smash Up, you're going to take these two teams, MLB teams, and you're going to basically put them together to make one squad. We'll call this the Pennsylvania squad. And then you're going to create a starting lineup out of that team. Okay, so out of all these guys that you have to work with, you're going to create a starting lineup and a bench. All right, so let's take a look at what that's going to look like. Okay, so let's take a look at the squad I put together here. My first baseman is going to be Rhys Hoskins. Second base is Bryson Stott. Shortstop is Trey Turner. As I mentioned, Phillies are my favorite team, so I got more Phillies starters than Pirates. Third baseman is Ke'Bryan Hayes. My catcher is going to be JT Realmuto. I got Zach Wheeler toeing the mound. My DH is going to be Schwarber. Now, in this game, you can use any player that you want as DH, okay? And my outfielders are going to be Andrew McCutchen, Bryce Harper, and Brian Reynolds, all right? So that's a pretty good squad. Now, that's going to leave me 5 guys on the bench, all right? And I'll be able to use these guys as pinch hitters during the game. And then it'll also leave me with a couple of pitchers that I can bring out of the bullpen. And then on the back of Zach Wheeler, we can also have Ranger Suarez coming out of the bullpen as well. So this is my starting squad. And now what I have to do is I got to put a lineup together. So let's see what that's going to look like. All right, so this is the starting lineup they created. I've got Trey Turner batting first, Andrew McCutchen hitting second, Bryce Harper hitting third, Kyle Schwarber is my cleanup man, Ke'Bryan Hayes is batting fifth, then I got Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Brian Reynolds, and Bryson Stott. All right, pretty good squad. I'd love to see this lineup in action. Now, a couple things you want to keep in mind. Generally, like any good baseball team, you're going to want some speed at the top of the lineup. You're going to look for your power hitters in the 3, 4, and 5 spot. In this game, you want to pay close attention to your lefties and your righties. And there's some different strategies on how to do that. A lot of times I like to group mine together. I try to keep, some of my lefty hitters hitting back to back to back and some of my righty hitters hitting back to back to back. Now, another thing to notice is if your guy is a switch hitter, you'll want to look on the back of the card to see which way he's hitting. Because in this game, you have to pick either lefty or righty. But once you get your lineup set, the way that you'll play the game is you'll flip these cards over. And on the backs of the cards, it's going to tell you basically the player that we matched this guy up with from our old championship baseball game. But then also this is going to determine what happens when this guy gets up to bat. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do each inning, let's say that I'm leading off here. I'm the visiting team and I'm going to lead off with Trey Turner. The first thing that we're going to do, and I'm still working on the setup for this. I think I'm going to have a little player board, but essentially this is left field, center field, and right field. And each inning, you're going to roll a 6-sided die to determine which field you're trying to hit to. So if you roll a 1 or a 2, you're going to be trying to hit it to left field or third base. If you roll a 3 or a 4, you're going to be trying to hit it up the middle to second base, shortstop, or center field. And if you hit it, shoot a 5 or a 6, you're going to be trying to pull it to right field. So you could almost think of it as if the shift was on and you're trying to hit it into the shift maybe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll, and I rolled a 1, which means I'm trying to hit it to left field this inning. And this is where the lefty-righty thing comes into play. Because on the backs of these cards, when we flip them over, okay, a right-handed batter is going to be more likely to pull the ball to left field. Okay, so ideally, if I roll a 1 or a 2, I want my right-handed hitters up. Okay, so in this case, I got Trey Turner. That he's a right-handed hitter. That's good. Then I've got Andrew McCutchen. He's a right-handed hitter. That's good. Then I've got Bryce Harper. He's left-handed with some power, so that's not as good. Which just means the odds of these guys hitting it to left field are better than the odds of Bryce Harper hitting it to left field. Okay, so generally, like I said, if you have a 1-2, you're going to have left field open, which means you want right-handed hitters. If you have a 5 or a 6, you're going to have right field open, and you're going to want your lefties up. And some guys are better at hitting it up the middle. Others maybe are not. Okay, it just depends on the card. So what we would do first, each person is going to get a sheet that looks like this. Not sure how well that's coming through with the light, but it'll be basically a blank score sheet where you'll write in your lineup, okay, and you'll keep score throughout the game. Now, I'm going to have these laminated. We typically keep track on these paper sheets because what we'll do is we'll play the game 15, 20 times, and then we'll compile all the statistics from all the games. For this particular tournament, we're not going to compile statistics. We're just going to focus on, who wins the games. So I'll have these laminated, and you can just use dry erase markers to do it. That way, when the game's over, you can just wipe it off and use it again for the next game. Okay. But what you're going to do, this is what we're going to use to keep score. And so what we would do is, let's say we've got left field open. So Trey Turner's up to bat. So I'm going to set these up here for now, just to remind us left field's open. But what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice, okay? And we rolled a 2-5. Oh, and you just saw me roll the dice. I didn't plan this, but a 2-5 for Trey Turner is fly to left field home run. I don't know if you can see that. 2-5, fly to left field home run. So that'd be a home run, leadoff homer for Trey Turner, okay? Now, if we would have had a 5-6 and right field would have been open, okay, that would have been an out. Because if you've got left field open, fly to left field homer, that's a homer, okay? But if you've got center field or right field, that would just simply be an out. So you could see here, if I would have rolled a 3-6, fly to center field triple, if we have center field open, that's a triple. If you have left field or right field open, that's an out, all right? There are certain numbers like a 4-4, that's an automatic walk. He's got a few automatics. Every single card, one thing to be aware of, a 6-6, if you roll box cars, it's a home run for anybody, doesn't matter who. Just like a 1-1 is an automatic strikeout, a 2-2 is an automatic strikeout, okay? So there are some numbers that are the same for everybody. But for most of these, the players are all going to be different. So what you would do then is you go to your score sheet, you'd color this in, you'd mark down a homer for Trey Turner, and now Andrew McCutchen's up, okay? So we're going to flip over Andrew McCutchen's card. We're going to roll the dice. And like I said, this is good. We have left field open, so this is a good one for Andrew McCutchen as well. He rolls a 1-3. It's just an out. So Andrew McCutchen's out. So we go back to our sheet. Okay, we got one run with Turner. We got an out here. You fill that in, and you keep going until you have 3 outs. Now, one thing I might suggest is when you're done with the inning, so let's say we made it through 4 batters, okay? Turner got on, and then let's say we had an out. What you might do is just take Cabrian Hayes and sort of bump him down to remind yourself this is who goes first next inning, or you could flip it over. Okay, you might even want to play with these all flipped over just so you could keep track of your lefties and righties. It's totally up to you, all right? But what you're going to do throughout the game is you're going to keep score when your guys are up to bat, and your opponent's going to keep score when they're up to bat, and this is what it'll look like. Now, when we keep score here, you could see we do a very simplified version. So if Mike Trout, let's say he grounded to second base, all right, we don't bother writing 4-3 like you would and keeping an official scorebook. I just make an O for out and circle it, okay? And again, when we have strikeouts, when we keep the stats, we go ahead and track that because we're tracking those types of stats when we compile ours. But even for yours, it doesn't really matter. All you're really doing during this tournament is keeping track of runs and things like that, okay? So that's the basics of the game. Let me explain a little bit of the strategy now in terms of pitching changes and pinch hitting. All right, let's look at this scenario here. And let's assume that Bryce Harper got walked, okay, and then Mike Schmidt, or not Mike Schmidt, I'm looking at the thing that says Mike Schmidt, Kyle Schwarber had a little bloop single, okay? So we got a guy on first base and a guy on second base. But we've got right field open. We rolled a 5, so right field is open, which means we want left-handed hitters up right now, okay? If we have left-handed hitters up, it's going to give us better odds of getting a hit here and driving these runs in. But we've got righty, righty, righty coming up, so that's not so good. this is an example of where you might want to pinch hit. Okay, let's say it's late in the game. You might not always want to do this early in the game, right? Because this is your lineup and you want to stick with those guys. But let's say it's late in the game, you're down a run or two, and you got two guys on base, but you've got pretty bad odds here because you need a left-handed hitter up to hit it to right field, and you've got three righties in a row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a pinch hitter. We've got O'Neill Cruz here, who's a left-handed hitter. So I'm going to bring O'Neill Cruz in, and I'm going to see what he can do. So let's roll it. A 1-6. Fly to right field single. Okay? So there. That just improved my odds. Bryce Harper's got wheels. He could score. Schwarber's going to go to second. Now I've got first and second with one run in. Okay? Maybe I want to pinch hit again. Let's see if I got another lefty on the bench. And this is where it kind of matters, like who your bench players are. You want to have some lefties and some righties. So in this case, I've got Carlos Santana. Okay, he's a lefty. I'm going to bring him in. Now, what recourse does the pitcher have? What recourse does the defensive team have? What the defensive team can do, either because of a pinch hitting change or just because they want to change pitchers, they could bring in a different pitcher. So let's say I'm bringing in Santana here to pinch hit, and the pitcher says, you know what, I don't like this matchup because you got right field open with a big power hitter that has good chance to hit the right field. I'm going to bring in a relief pitcher. Okay? So the opponent brings in a relief pitcher. What that triggers is a re-roll of this die. So now I have to decide, I have to re-roll to see which field is open. All right? And I may get right field again. And if that's the case, there's nothing you can do about it. That pitcher has to stay in. He has to face at least one batter. Okay? But what I'm hoping is there's a 1-2 or a 3-4. So I have a 66% chance that I'm going to get left field or center field. And it's going to, as a pitcher, it's going to give me better odds than facing this big power hitter going to right field. So let's roll it. And I rolled a 5, which is just as bad, right? So I'm going to have to face this guy whether I like it or not. So let's roll and see what oh, look at that. Automatic home run, 6-6 boxcars. So 3-run homer. This guy just hit a big bomb, pinch hit, okay? But if you don't like your matchups, let's say somebody rolled a 1-2 and they've got a righty coming up. And you're like, oh, man, this is murderer's row. I'm about to get bombed by all these guys. Bring in a relief pitcher, make them re-roll this, okay? And then hopefully they'll get a different field, and that'll improve your odds. So what the offense can do is bring in pinch hitters. Of course, you only have 5 guys to work with. And what the defense can do is bring in relief pitchers. But the relief pitcher has to face at least one batter. And again, you're also limited in the number of relief pitchers you have. So you can only change so many times. If you're down to your last pitcher, even if you don't like your matchup, you're going to have to stick with that guy for the rest of the game and just let things play out. So those are all the basics that you really need to know in order to play in the Hack Wilson Memorial Tabletop Baseball Tournament. Like I said, it's a very simplified game. Okay, it's mainly based on dice rolls. The pitching, left-handed versus right-handed, doesn't really make a huge difference. It's not like Stratomatic or some of these other games, where you're factoring in weather and fatigue and all these different factors. Okay, at the tournament, we'll go over some basics with base stealing. There are chances that a fast guy could steal a base. So in other words, let's say I have Trey Turner and he's going to be a 4-speed. Okay. Each player has a certain power and a certain speed. A 4-speed is the best you can get, the fastest guy you can get. In order to steal second base, you have to add up to a total of 6. So in order to steal second base, Trey Turner would need to roll a 2 because you're going to add it to the speed. Okay. If he rolls a 1, he would be out. So he rolled a 4. Add that to his speed. 4 plus 4 is 8. That's greater than 6. He's safe at second. Now, if he wanted to go to third, he would need to roll a 7. So in order to get to third, he would need to roll at least a 3. He did it. he steals third. Okay, so depending on the speed of the player, you can steal bases. Generally, guys with 4 speed or 3 speed can steal bases. Guys with less than 3 speed, it's probably not worth the risk. So I hope that gives you enough information to at least pique your interest a little bit. If you'd like to try it out, come on down to Sidetracks. We can play a couple games ahead of the tournament so you get familiar with it. But we look forward to seeing you on March the 30th. Take care.